Ever wonder if you're being true to yourself or if you've crossed the line into being selfish? In this new world that celebrates individuality, it's easy to lose sight of when being authentic might actually be hurting others around you. In this video, we're going to do a deep dive into how you can tell if you've gone too far against the mold of society, and when you need to strike balance between being unique and being considerate. Hey strangers, I'm Bitsy the alien, and I've always considered being an individualist as a badge of honor, standing out, being true to yourself, and not following the crowd. My entire life I've stood by these values. That's why I call myself an alien. That's why I call you stranger. Because life is better when we're all just a little bit stranger than society wants us to be. But at what point does this individualism become an excuse for selfishness? Today, we're going to explore the fine line between being an authentic individual and crossing that line into selfish territory. Plus, we'll discuss why society's mold isn't all that bad and how we can all benefit from a little structure. So, what does it mean to be an individualist? Individualism is all about self-expression, independence, and forging your own path. This is what drives innovation and creativity, and it encourages us to explore who we are without being confined by the social expectations of the world around us. In this new world that values authenticity, being an individualist can be very empowering. However, there is a fine line between being an individualist and being selfish. When the focus on me becomes so intense that it disregards the needs, feelings, or rights of others, that's when we have crossed the line into dangerous territory. It's easy to justify selfish behavior as just being myself, but it can lead to hurting others around you and isolating yourself. Here are some signs that you might be crossing that line. Ignoring the impact on others. One major sign that you've crossed the line from individualism into selfishness is when you stop considering how your actions affect others. You know the golden rule, treat others how you want to be treated. If your decisions are constantly inconveniencing, upsetting, or harming those around you, it's time to reassess whether you're being true to yourself or just being inconsiderate. The correct solution would be to ask yourself, if someone said this same thing to me, but with an opposing opinion, how would it make me feel? Would it make me mad? Would it make me angry? Or would it downright hurt my feelings? Well, be sure to ask this before you speak, and then find a better way to express what you're wanting to say. The wrong thing to do is to disregard other people's opinions and bulldoze over them as you quote-unquote speak your truth. Ignoring them may seem tantalizing if they're not as open-minded as you are, but remember, they have had a very different life than you, and you don't know their full story either. And at the end of the day, we all feel the same pain, irritation, and anger. It just manifests via different means for different people. But the one thing that does unite us all is that fact that we do all feel pain, and we all feel it the same. Refusing to compromise. Compromise is a key part of any relationship, whether it's with friends, family, a lover, or just society at large. If you find yourself refusing to bend, even if it would benefit the greater good and your relationship, well, then you might be prioritizing your own desires over the well-being of others and taking it a step too far. For example, if person number 1 asked person number 2 to call them they, but person number 2 expresses how uncomfortable using that terminology makes them feel, well, the correct solution would be to calmly discuss further and find a compromise that makes both people feel somewhat comfortable, so that you can each feel seen and heard. The wrong thing to do is to start a fight over it, challenging who is right and who is wrong. Because at the end of the day, in this situation, they are both right. Because This situation is based on your feelings and their feelings. And when it comes to emotions being valid, we need to remember that if our emotions are valid, then others' emotions are valid. So let's take a deep breath and find some common ground. Compromise is key. Isolating yourself to avoid confrontation and conforming. Sometimes you may feel like isolating yourself to avoid conforming to social norms. And while it's important to remain unique in your identity, complete and total isolation can be a sign you've gone too far. Genetically speaking, we were born to be social creatures. It's in our DNA. We quite literally need other people. Even the most independent amongst us needs some form of community and connection. Our brains can actually devolve due to isolation. In turn, this makes us even more selfish and unable to integrate with our peers. It was studied in depth quite recently, as a lot of people fell victim to this during the time that must not be spoken. COVID. If you're already in isolation, the correct solution would be to be brave and start with one or two close friends or peers who you can meet up with in person who are willing to help you get your mojo going. They can stop you when your selfish habits come out and help you interact with the world around you in a more healthy and productive way. The wrong thing to do is to double down on your isolation and become a cave troll, leaving mean comments all over YouTube videos, trying to make yourself feel better. Trust me, you won't feel better. Honestly, I was there once. I was isolated. And it hurt every day. Being a better you is hard, but with just 1 or 2 months of effort, you can change your habits and grow your health and happiness, leading to those around you sending you admiration instead of irritation. Isolation feels easy, but it really does make your life harder when you don't have any connection. Even though my life is full and busy now, and I have to work really, really hard to stay on top of things, I feel so much healthier, so much more me, because I've left my cave, or mothership as it were, and came down to earth to find some friends. You don't need many, but a few that'll get you out of the house. Why we need society, and how to find balance. Society's mold isn't about conformity, it's about creating a framework where people can live together in harmony. It was built out of necessity, and yes, there are flaws, but without the rules and pressures of society, we would still be in the dark ages, where groups of men could regularly rape and murder people. And no, I am not being dramatic. Without society, we would have no laws, no infrastructure, no prisons, no rehab, no help for anyone. Because if we're all being selfish, then no one's going to build you a house. Nobody's going to go out of their way to help you. Grow your own food. Find your own water. That's what it was like without social rules. These fragile agreements to generally be kind to others, to not sleep with someone else's mate, to share food based on a dumb money system, this is what has allowed us to grow into a place where individuals even have a place to thrive to begin with. So don't take it for granted, because I don't know about you, but if I lived in the dark ages, they probably would have burned me a long time ago. And I know, it's true, some of these social norms can be very restrictive. But remember, many societal expectations are there to ensure everyone's human rights and needs are respected. Personally, I hate being called a woman. It feels icky to me. And I do not appreciate all the social pressure that comes with this phrase. And I know infighting is just not going to do anything for anybody. So, you walk away, you move along, you check the dumb little checkbox. It is what it is. That doesn't change me or who I am. It's important to recognize that society's structure isn't inherently bad. It's all about finding that balance between individuality and community. because community is a powerful thing, and we all deserve to be a part of one. We don't need to separate ourselves into little boxes, keeping one community from another. We need to open our arms and our minds, letting community grow and thrive. You can see the juxtaposition from America to Japan, where I have lived for 5 years. Japan is not an individualist society. They are collectivists, and as such, it is completely community-based, which of course brings its own set of problems. But there is a balance between both sides where we can all thrive. I believe that one day we will get there. Sure, maybe I'm a little spacey, but I truly believe that one day we can find that balance if everybody puts in a little bit of effort. How to be authentic without being selfish. So how can you stay true to yourself without being selfish? Like everything in life, it's all about balance. Balance, balance, balance. And that means work. Work, work, work. Yep, you gotta do stuff. Can't just let life roll. That was a very hard lesson for a very lazy alien to learn. Here are some tips for you, so maybe it won't be so hard. Self-reflection. Regularly check in with yourself and see if your actions are aligning with your core values. And in fact, what are your core values? Define them. Find them. My values are 1. It is never okay to be cruel. So be kind to everyone, just in case. 2. Kindness and being nice are 2 very different things. 3. Trust no one without cause. I will not let people take advantage of me. I will be discerning and let people earn or lose my trust as I learn how they act. Empathy. Put yourself in others' shoes. Ask how your actions might affect them. Where are they from? How were they raised? They may not be an individualist, but they are still an individual. Open-mindedness. You may think you've got this one down, because you're unique and cool. But remember, you need to be willing to adapt and grow. Compromising isn't about losing yourself. It's about making space for others. That way we can all feel valued. And sometimes it all comes down to the words you use. Phrasing, grammar, individual words can hold different power for different people. Because communication is only as effective as the listener finds it to be. Next time you're arguing with someone, take a moment to ask them, what does this word mean for you? Because your definition of something and their definition of something might surprise you and them. As someone who's been married for 7-8 years, trust me, you don't always have the same definition of a word. So ask, and it'll make your life so much easier. Yeah. The benefits of finding balance. By finding the balance between individualism and societal expectations, you can enjoy the best of both worlds. If you're able to express your authentic self while also building strong, healthy relationships and contributing positively to your community, you will find fulfillment in life. And isn't that what we all crave? So, are you striking the right balance between individuality and being a part of society? Think about your actions, reflect on your choices, and then drop a comment below. Let me know how you stay true to yourself while also being considerate to others. And if you've been having a specific issue, feel free to ask. Of course, leave out personal names and information, but if you have a question, I will do my best to answer it. But that's all for now, stranger. If you found this video helpful, be sure to like and subscribe for new videos every week. Thank you so much for observing. This one really was a lot. But until you climb aboard the mothership next time, stay strange. Bye bye. Bitsy beaming back up.